Hi, Trevor. Thank you so much for submitting another writing piece. It was really interesting to read about a topic that is clearly very important to you and that you feel very passionate about. So I think that definitely came through in your writing piece this week, and it made it so much more interesting to read just knowing you have that interest in the topic of basketball as a sport. And so what I wanted to do was give you a little feedback so that you can make any changes to this piece and add to it and improve it even more. Before we get started, I first wanted to point out to you something that you can do in the Google Docs that you might be interested in trying this week. Up in the toolbar, there is a little box with a plus sign and it kind of looks like a little flag. That's what I click on to comment each week to give you feedback with the glows and grows. And I just wanted to invite you this week to try and try that out and comment back to in reply to one of the comments that I make, just letting me know what you think, if you have any questions. And I was really just kind of interested to see what you think you do a really great job with in your writing, and any areas that you think that you want to improve on or that I could give you feedback on. And so I was really interested to know what you think. So I am going to create a comment box and leave it blank on the right hand side of the page. All I do is click this plus sign here. It automatically opens up a box, and then once I type something in to comment, you just click the blue comment box. So I would definitely invite you to try to comment back. You can also, if I go down, you can also click under one of the comments I've made and where there's a reply box, and all you do is type something in and then you click reply and it adds to my comment. So that's a great opportunity you can have to ask questions or make comments back. So I definitely want to invite you to try and comment back on at least one thing this week. You can either start your own comment box or you can reply to one of the comments that I've already made, whichever you would like. And if you could just really briefly, quickly tell me what you think about what you think you've been doing a really awesome job on with your writing, and any area or areas where you would continue to like some support, so that I can make sure that my feedback is as helpful to you as possible. So first I wanted to take a look at the beginning of your piece. I'm going to scroll up. And I thought you did a really good job throughout this entire piece of keeping your focus on the topic of making an argument for why basketball is a better sport than baseball. I thought you did a nice job of keeping that focus and not jumping around to a bunch of different topics, but staying very focused on building that argument. One suggestion that I have for you at the beginning of your piece is to try to take out any words or phrases that take away from the confidence you have in what you're saying. For example, when you say yes for sure, or not me, or if you were to use I, that actually takes away from the strength of your argument. A better option would be to just make the statement without an I or a me or informal language, like yes for sure. That would be more language that we would call conversational language. So something that would work if you were just speaking to someone. But in writing, it's best to leave phrases like that out that are more informal, because when you leave those phrases out, it makes the statements that you're saying all that much more confident and stronger. For example, if you were to take that out, your sentence would just be basketball is a contact sport with numerous amounts of stamina, which equals more fun. So that sounds a lot more confident and you're sure of yourself because you're not saying and using any informal language or any reference to yourself or what you think. When you just make that statement, it sends the message that you know that is true without you having to say you think that or that you agree with it. I would also encourage you to create a clear topic sentence that lets your readers know what your argument is for the piece. I think here you did a great job creating your hook, but following that rather than quickly and informally answering your hook to let your reader know what your position is on this issue, I think you should include a whole sentence that clearly states your position on this issue, that you think basketball is a better sport than baseball. That's really important, especially in an argumentative piece, to let your readers know that your clear position on this issue. So it definitely is worth saying that directly in an entire sentence that is all its own and not part of the first detail you give. So you could create a whole sentence that tells your position on that issue following this question, and then going into details to start to develop your argument for why you think that following it, such as after that sentence starting to explain your detail about how basketball is a contact sport. I thought you did a nice job including some examples and getting started with that. I think one suggestion I would have is to work on developing some of those examples even more. And what I mean by that is thinking about what information your readers might not be aware of that you have in your head for why basketball is, in your opinion, the best sport. So, for example, when you say that basketball is a contact sport and you're arguing for that's why it is more fun, I would directly explain to your readers why is it that a contact sport, in your opinion, is more fun than another sport that doesn't involve as much contact or stamina. And even though that reason may be clear to you, I would directly explain that in another sentence or two for to go into more detail about that. I think you could also do that in your other examples. For example, when you're talking about how basketball takes a lot less time for a game rather than baseball, the feeling I got from that is that you're arguing that that's a reason that basketball would be a better sport because it takes less time, and kind of making the assumption that a sport that has less game time is probably a better one to play because it wouldn't drag on. But I think that if that is your line of thought, you need to directly say that following the details that you give about the length of each game. So you can directly say how having games that are a shorter length makes that sport a better sport and more fun, in your opinion, supporting your argument throughout your piece. In the end of your piece, I think you did a really nice job of making sure to restate your position in a very clear way. I think that does, when you say basketball is superior to baseball, I think that you do a nice job of reminding your reader of the position you clearly took at the beginning of your writing piece. I was wondering about the sentence where you say, therefore basketball and baseball will remain rivals forever, but there's no denying the truth. So one question I had about this was about this rivalry you mentioned. Is the rivalry supposed to be a part of your argument? Is that something that you would like to argue for throughout your piece, that they are rivals? And if so, possibly is that something you can include in your topic sentence after your hook in the beginning of your piece as part of your argument that not only is basketball a better sport than baseball, but also that they're rivals in a sense? And is that something you want to refer back to throughout your examples? Just because that seems like a really big claim, and to put it at the end, I wasn't sure whether that idea was taken from your opinion that they're in some way completely opposite or rivals of each other in some way, or if that's an idea that's well known or that you had read from any of the resources you looked at online or in print. So I was just wondering what you meant by that, and is that necessary to have there, or is that something we can include in your topic sentence and then kind of refer back to throughout your examples if you do want the rivalry piece to be a part of your topic sentence and the argument you make throughout your piece. So I hope this was helpful and that you are able to go ahead and make some changes to your piece, and I'm looking forward to reading your next submission. And just a reminder, if you could please try to at least reply to one comment letting me know what you've been seeing as your strengths as you've been writing, and any area that you really want to focus in on improving. And so I can definitely find some resources and think about some feedback to give to help definitely in that area moving forward as you continue to submit your writing. So thank you so much for continuing to work hard, and it's been really awesome to get the chance to read your writing, and I hope you have a good week and a lot of fun editing. Bye!